What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the Sports Master channel. And today's video, I'm going to be recapping the first game of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics, where Milwaukee managed to take game one on the road, winning 101-89 against the Boston Celtics. The Milwaukee Bucks were 24-17 away this season, but obviously came out with another away win, and the Boston Celtics coming at there with the loss. Milwaukee Bucks looking very, very strong in this game right now. Jason Tatum not doing his best performance this game, but Giannis Antetokounmpo having a fantastic game, getting a triple-double in this game, leading the Milwaukee Bucks to a 101 and victory. Made Milwaukee lead the series 1-0 after the first game of that. I'm going to talk about basically the recap, play-by-play, box score, game cast, everything you need to know about this stuff like that. So this is the shot chart that it looked like for Boston I'm gonna do just for Boston. It did not look good. It was very, very, very ugly. I mean, it was not the best. I mean, you could see that. Man, there was a lot of missed shots for Celtics. I mean, most of their shots came from around the 3-point line, coming on the left side of the 3-point line. There's only like 3 or 4 shots made underneath the basket, and the other ones were like basically outside the 3-point line. There was one that was 24-foot 3-point jumper. Like basically all the other shots were around the 3-point line, besides these couple that are inside the paint, which is very surprising because obviously 3 points are not a very high percentage shot. And then for obviously Milwaukee, they were scoring everywhere. They shot some threes, some mid range. They made a couple of layups down low by Giannis. But you could see, man, Milwaukee both did a very good shooting day. A lot of threes, a lot of mid range jumpers, some layups, but they had a really good high percentage of shots today. Obviously, a lot of shots that fell down, and that's maybe the real reason why they won that game. Because Milwaukee had a way better percentage shooting than the Boston Celtics, and none of these teams are both pretty equally skilled. All they have two really good players like Jason Tatum, Giannis. Uh, they're really equal. Just I think the only reason why Boston fell short was because Boston did not have a shooting day. They didn't have a good shooting day like Jason Tatum. Didn't really have the best day on shooting, in the Milwaukee Bucks, they had a very good shooting. They had one of the best shooting days they had this season in the postseason. So really good that Milwaukee managed to pop up here, make a lot of shots because, taking that first game is a really rewarding pick because obviously taking game one gives you kind of advantage for game two and even game number three. So really good that Milwaukee Bucks shot really well there from their side of the court there. Really, really cool there. Heading to the recap, Giannis got a triple-double where they won 101-89. And then I had the box score. So on the box score, you can see that Giannis Antetokounmpo, 24 points with 13 rebounds, 12 assists. He had 2 blocks, 5 turnovers on that. 6 for 11 for the free throw line, 0 for 2 on 3-point line, but from 9 for 25 from the field there, playing for 38 minutes. Then we had Lopez with 6 points, really good. They're coming out with 10 rebounds as well. Just really good rebounds. I mean, there's 3 people on the Milwaukee Bucks that had 10 plus rebounds, and that's the reason why the Milwaukee Bucks are just so efficient because they can just crash the board, get offensive and defensive rebounds, and that's like what that's. The Milwaukee Bucks had over almost 50 rebounds. Almost 50 rebounds. Which is just crazy for Bucks stats. And then obviously had Lopez, 15 points, 11 rebounds. Holiday was 9 rebounds and 25 points. Like even a point guard like Drew Holiday is still getting 9 rebounds a game. So we had Antetokounmpo with 24, Holiday with 25. We had Matthews with 5. Not the best day, but he had 2 rebounds and 2 assists to go along with that. He was also 1 for 6 from 3-point line, so giving a couple points up there. Giannis Antetokounmpo's brother had 0 points, only played 1 minute. But off the bench, we had Carter with 7, Pat Connaughton with 8, and then we had Allen having a good day, getting 11 points off the bench with 2 rebounds and 1 assist to go along. But he also had 3 steals. Really good defensive game there for Allen there to bring up the pace for the Milwaukee Bucks. For the Celtics, we had Tatum, 21. Obviously not his best game in the postseason. Obviously, he did the best for the Celtics, but obviously he usually averaged 30 points a game, 40 minutes played. He's played more minutes than any other player in this whole game, and he only scored 21 points. Then we had Al Horford with 12. We had Williams with 6, Smart with 10, and Brown with 12. We had Horford with 10 rebounds, and then we had Williams with 8 and Brown with 9. But no really other person really insane amount of rebounds. Going over here off the bench, we have Williams with 8 points off the bench, getting 4 rebounds to go along with that. We have Cornette, only playing 2 minutes, didn't really get much for the team there. We had Fitz getting 2 points off of that. We had Derek White getting 10 points off the bench. We had Pritchard getting 6 points off the bench, and we also had Daniel Theis getting 2 points off the bench, which is not not terrible. The Bucks, they shot 37 from 90 from the field, 12 or 34 from 3 point line, which is they shot over 35% from the 3 point line, which is not bad. And they had 50 for 21 from the field, over 70%, which I think for a team to be dynamic at the free throw line, I think that number should be at 80. Like I feel like a good game for either team should be at least around almost 50%, like 45 to 50% from the field, 35 to 40% from the 3 point line, and around 80% from the free throw line. But the Bucks, they had 54 total rebounds, 22 assists, 44 defensive rebounds, 10 offensive rebounds, 11 steals, 5 blocks, 13 turnovers, which that kind of cost them a little bit, but obviously they managed to come out with the win anyway. But man, not bad. I mean, they're getting a lot of rebounds. They have 54 total rebounds, which is really, really, really good, especially since Boston only had 48. That's 6 more rebounds more, and that 6 more, it could potentially be 6 more possessions, and 6 possessions is a lot of points. That could be 12 points. And you can see on the scoreboard, they lost by 12 points. So you could see that it definitely cost them a lot, those 6 extra rebounds, because obviously 6 extra rebounds could potentially be points per possession. So it really sucks to see how Boston could have came out with that if they would have just got more rebounds, because they had 6 rebounds more. Milwaukee had, which could be a potential of 12 points, and that's how much they lost by. So Milwaukee, really good rebounding team. They obviously have 3 really big players crashing off the boards. We have Drew Holiday, a point guard, getting rebounds as well to crash at 54, so not bad. And then for the Celtics, we had 28 for 84 from the field, 33%. See, not a good shooting day for Boston. 36% for the 3 point line, that's not bad. And then 75% from the free throw line. So, Celtics, not shooting that bad from the free throw line or the 3 point line. Just definitely need to make some more shots inside the 3 point line, because they're only 33%, which means they made every 1 and 3 shots inside, and that is not good, because 3 possessions makes a big difference. Like, honestly, you want to make sure you get a score every possession, because that makes a big impact. You also want to make sure you crash and get those rebounds. Um, we had 10 offensive rebounds for Celtics, 38 defensive rebounds, a total of 48 rebounds, 21 assists, 8 steals, 7 blocks, and 18 turnovers. That also caused Boston, because Milwaukee only had 13, Celtics had 18. That's 5 more turnover that potentially could have cost them a couple possessions of points there. So you could see that Boston, they had potential to win this game if they would have got 1 more rebounds, and 2 wouldn't turn the ball over so much. And I guess 3, they made more of their shots. Like Celtics, they actually were pretty close into the game until about the last 2 minutes of the third quarter, and then Milwaukee started pulling ahead to come up with used the score by quarter. Milwaukee had a pretty comfortable lead at the halftime, but then Boston started coming back in that third, and then that fourth quarter was just basically all Milwaukee, just destroying the Boston Celtics. They were just crashing up the board. Giannis Antetokounmpo just getting the rebounds, driving, slamming down. He always does. Getting inside the paint, beats a bullet like he always does. And man, it was just a great day for Milwaukee. I mean, Boston just didn't have an answer for Giannis Antetokounmpo. So really good to see Milwaukee come out with the win. But Boston needs some improving to do for game number 2. First, they need to make more shots. 2, stop the turnovers. And 3, they have to crash the board, get the offensive. They have to get more offensive boards, because Boston could have won if they didn't, if they actually had more, big men on the court at a time. I mean, they have Robert Williams, which is a really good, big man, but he only had 8 rebounds. Al Horford had 10. So Robert Williams and Al Horford, they need to probably get 20 combined to be good at least. Because, for example, Giannis and Lopez, they had 23 combined, and Bobby Portis. That's 3 really pretty big people there. And they had 34 combined, and you had Holiday's 9 in there. That's just a lot. So Celtics, they definitely need to improve more on crashing the board, getting the rebounds, stopping the turnovers, and of course making more shots out of the paint, because they were just way out from the line, as you can see on that shot chart, that they definitely went off the chart there. from the pull-up jumpers. So Celtics, they definitely need to get improvement for game number 2, kind of get those shots ready to go because they will play next game. Will be played on Tuesday at Boston. So Boston, they definitely need to win the next game because if you're gonna let Milwaukee win the next game away, Boston is scared because Milwaukee's more likely gonna win both games at home. So if they beat Boston away on the road again, then it looks like Milwaukee's going to win 5, maybe 4, depending on how Giannis does. Because, remember, they're playing without Chris Middleton. Middleton, I don't know when he'll come back. He will not be playing in this round. If Milwaukee makes it to the conference finals, he might come back, depending on how quick his surgery happens, stuff like that. So, Milwaukee has a definitely big chance of getting Middleton back in the next round. Just have to make sure they close this round strong. Win a 5. If they can win this game, if they can win the series quickly, then they should be good to bring Middleton back, and they could repeat again if they just have a healthy roster once again. So really, really, really good there. You can see team stats. These are the team stats there. Points of the paint. Milwaukee just destroying that 34 points there by Giannis mostly. 21 fouls for the Bucks, but 25 for the Celtics. Cost them a little bit. We had Boston only had an 8, like that's their largest lead. Milwaukee had 17. 17 is really hard to come back from. So that's really how it went up for the team stats there. So you can see here, this is the bigger chart. Most of the shots, obviously, Milwaukee shot everywhere on the court. They shot 3-point, mid-range, stuff like that. But most of Boston's shots came from the perimeter. They only shot like about a handful, up to 10 inside the paint for Boston. So they definitely need to close out. They didn't make a single shot inside, like outside the paint and inside 3-point line. They didn't even make a single shot. They had three attempts and didn't even make a single one. Nick Stauskas, Jaylen Brown 2 times didn't even manage to come out on top on that shots right there. Maybe they got contested. Maybe they were just playing good defense by, obviously Giannis was probably playing good defense.
I love my new home, but
man, it just sucks to see Boston, who's a very good team, sweeping Brooklyn, losing game number 1 because they just couldn't shoot or couldn't crash for the board and get rebounds, even though they have one of the best big men in the Eastern Conference, Robert Williams, who one of the best rebounders and couldn't crash the board. But that's going to be it for game number 1 preview between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Bucks. So that's going to be the game 1 recap. I will be doing the Warriors and Grizzlies recap when that game concludes. That game right now is currently in that second quarter right now as the video is getting recorded. So I'll see you on a little bit for Warriors and Memphis Grizzlies game recap. Peace.